Asterisk, asterisk, it was raining heavily, the kind of rain that felt more like punishment than a blessing, cold and merciless against the skin. In the shadows of a back alley where the neon lights of the city never reached, a young woman lay crumpled beside a trash bin. Her clothes were soaked, her hair clung to her pale face, and her breathing was shallow. She looked less like a person and more like something discarded, thrown away like broken furniture. And in truth, that's exactly what had happened. Hours before, her husband, the man she had once believed was her protector, had dragged her out, cursed her weakness, and thrown her into the rain like garbage, saying she was worthless, a burden, a mistake he should never have made. Her trembling body shivered against the concrete. But it wasn't just the cold, it was the cruel sting of betrayal, of realizing the person she trusted most had chosen to treat her as disposable. Asterisk, before we dive deeper into her journey, I want to pause here and ask you, dear viewers, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of love to change lives, then please take a moment to like this video, share it with others, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Stories Collection. Your support helps us keep telling stories that inspire and heal hearts around the world. Asterisk. Her name was Maya. Once she had dreamed of a simple, happy life. She had fallen in love with her husband when she was young, believing his promises that he would always be there for her. But dreams can shatter quickly, and the man she thought she knew became a stranger. He grew impatient when life got hard, resentful when she couldn't bring in money, and cruel when her silence no longer hid her pain. That night, when she tried to confide in him about how lost she felt, he exploded with rage. Instead of holding her, he struck her down with words sharp as knives, then dragged her into the storm and abandoned her beside the trash. The ring he had once placed on her finger, the vows he had once sworn, they meant nothing anymore. Asterisk. For hours, she lay there, half-conscious, as the rain fell and the city moved on without noticing her. Passers-by saw only a figure on the ground and hurried along, unwilling to stop. To them, she was invisible, just another broken life in a city that already had too many. Her stomach ached from hunger, her lips cracked from thirst, and her spirit, dimmed as loneliness pressed down on her like a weight she could no longer bear. Asterisk. And then, fate intervened. Asterisk. A black car rolled slowly down the alley, its headlights cutting through the sheets of rain. Inside sat a man in his early 40s, tall, sharp-eyed, with the kind of presence that commanded respect. His name was Alexander Grant, a billionaire known in the corporate world for his brilliance, but feared by many for his cold, distant demeanor. To the public, he was untouchable, always surrounded by wealth and power. But beneath the polished image, Alexander carried a loneliness that no amount of riches could erase. His mansion was grand but empty. His name was powerful but hollow. He had learned to trust no one, for people wanted him only for what he had, never for who he was. Asterisk. When the headlights caught Maya's fragile body, he ordered the driver to stop. Something inside him stirred a flicker of recognition, as though he were staring at a reflection of his own brokenness. Without hesitation, he stepped into the rain, his expensive suit instantly drenched. Kneeling beside her, he gently lifted her head, and what he saw broke through the icy armor he had built. Around his heart, her eyes, though dim with pain, still held a quiet dignity. She was not trash, she was a soul abandoned in her darkest hour. Asterisk. He carried her into his car, wrapping his coat around her frail form. As the vehicle sped away, Maya drifted in and out of consciousness, unsure if she was dreaming or if someone had truly saved her. When she awoke, she was in a warm, soft bed, her wounds tended to, her body covered in fresh clothes. She thought she had died and entered another world. But when Alexander entered the room, she realized she was still alive and that this man, a stranger, had chosen to rescue her when the one she loved had cast her away. Asterisk. Days turned into weeks as she recovered under his roof. Alexander asked for nothing in return. He provided her food, shelter, and safety, but more than that, he gave her something she had long forgotten existed: kindness. At first, she was wary, her trust shattered too deeply to heal overnight. But he never pushed her, never demanded her story, never made her feel small. Slowly, she began to speak again, to laugh quietly, to look at him with gratitude that words could not capture. And Alexander, who had thought his heart incapable of feeling, found himself drawn to her resilience, her gentleness, her unbreakable spirit despite everything she had endured. But shadows of the past are not easily erased. One evening, as Maya walked through the mansion's garden, she froze. Her husband had found her. He had tracked her down, furious that the woman he had thrown away was now living in wealth. He accused her of betrayal, demanded she return, and threatened her with violence. The old fear surged back, but this time Maya was not alone. Alexander stepped between them, his voice firm, his presence like a shield. He looked the man straight in the eyes and told him he had no right over her anymore. When the husband tried to strike, Alexander's guards restrained him, and the man who had once controlled her was dragged away powerless at last. For the first time, Maya stood without trembling. She realized she was not weak, she had simply been trapped in the wrong place, with the wrong person, in time. Alexander and Maya's bond deepened into something neither had expected. He, the billionaire who thought no one could love him without his money, and she, the woman who thought she was unworthy of love at all, found in each other a kind of truth they had both been missing. Their marriage was not a fairy tale, it was something stronger, forged out of broken pieces that fit together. On the day Alexander placed a ring on her finger, it was not wealth that defined the moment, but love, respect, and the shared understanding of two hearts that had known pain and chosen hope. Viewers, if this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who might need hope, comment your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to Stories Collection. Your support allows us to keep bringing you emotional, real, and inspiring stories. And before we end, we have a special request. Tell us in the comments, do you believe love can heal even the deepest wounds? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Understood. Closing parenthesis. The rain fell in merciless sheets, slashing against the cracked pavement of the alley like whips. In that forgotten corner of the city, where neon lights faded into shadows, a young woman lay crumpled against a trash bin. Her clothes clung to her fragile frame, her hair plastered across her pale face, and her body trembled from cold and hunger. To anyone passing by, she looked like nothing more than another homeless soul abandoned by the world. But the truth was far crueler. Her name was Maya, and only hours before, she had still believed she had a place to belong. Believed she had someone who loved her. But the man she had trusted most, her husband, had betrayed her in the most brutal way. He had dragged her into the storm, cursed her for being a burden, and with eyes full of hatred, thrown her beside the trash as though she were not human at all. The words still echoed in her ears. "You're worthless. Nothing. Better off rotting out here." Her chest ached, not just from the cold air, but from the sharp wound of betrayal. Her body was weak, but it was her heart that was breaking. Immediately,